brokerage. They might not know that it is a brokerage, you know?
I love it. I love it. And now we got the.
And we also say where we work for in case our bosses listen, you know, I'm just saying, but to also explain, you know, briefly what it is we do in real estate. All right. We should probably just start recording.
I love it. Yeah, I've been recording. So I have all this stuff. Also, I love the Zoom backgrounds, how they just like cut off my face in the microphone. So I'm talking into something, and all of a sudden, boom, it just pops up. That's silliness.
And that logo should probably have the words "Keeping It Real" being red, like that hot red spray paint font.
Woo, Keeping It Real Estate. And I think if Zoom works in the way it's supposed to, it should pop my screen up to the front. Oh yeah, look. All right, we're Keeping It Real Estate.
Yo, 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 we are Keeping It Real Estate. This is your host with the most this week.
I love how my head is like one of those like scene cards that you cut, you know? It's like, all right, Keeping It Real Estate, and we move and we're live.
That's good.
We are rolling.
All right, welcome to the inaugural episode of Keeping It Real Estate. Did we have that hot drop of Big Pimpin'? Did that happen?
Yeah, I just played it. Here.
I think we should hear it again.
We can just keep playing it. I love this song.
No doubt.
Hey,
fun fact,
I don't want to pay those royalty fees.
Fun fact, Brian Berryhill walked down the aisle to that song at his wedding.
You are lying.
No, to that song, yeah.
I don't believe it.
I'm actually not surprised by that.
Plan a 1-to-1 with him and ask about it, yeah.
He's
real
quiet.
Yeah,
anyway, so
it's because he's big pimping.
Back to business. So it's the Keeping It Real Estate podcast. My name is Loyal Frisbie. I am a realtor, residential realtor here in Gainesville, Florida. And not that you care, but the name of the brokerage I'm with is called Florida Homes Realty and Mortgage, but not mortgages. It's just what it's called. Next.
Hi, I'm Curran. I am your local title agent, and I work for Alachua Title Services.
Kristen Little here. I'm with Christoring Mortgage, your residential mortgage specialist for the state of Florida.
Ooh, and I am Phil Young. I am a personal lines insurance agent with Schneider and Associates, an independent agency out in Jonesville, Florida.
And last but not least, Alex Montero from GNV Entertainment / Empower Media, coming with you guys, helping produce this wonderful production. Very excited to be here.
Cool. And being that this is our first episode, just want to kind of disclose that we are a little goofy, but in tangential. Alex observed that. He goes, you guys are kind of tangential. We might want to keep it a little more focused.
Hold on. I'm currently Googling what that means.
And I think that's
a big word. It is a very big word.
Okay. Got it.
All right. So now Phil's going to tell us what we're really about. Go ahead, Phil.
All right. So we all got together, our little hive mind got together to help along the process for people that don't know, to try to help with overcoming those speed bumps, roadblocks, hiccups, frustrations that you could hit while purchasing a home. So we got together as kind of a power group, if you would say, with a realtor, a title agent, a mortgage processor, and an insurance agent to just kind of will you towards the finish line of purchasing that home.
Thank you. That is all true. And I think that Phil might have known what I was going to bring up today, because each week or episode, probably week, right? We will present an actual topic that pertains to real estate amidst our goofballedness. And we've got a spinny wheel here, and the spinny wheel is going to show who's ultimately going to present, except that the spinny wheel doesn't know who's going to present. So this is going to be a weekly segment of guessing how many spins it will take until this wheel gets it right. And by my mathematical surmising, that would be a 25% chance.
Hold on, I have to Google that word.
Yeah, I thought you would. Phil, did you get a degree?
You should just keep it up, Phil.
Are you required to be licensed in your job?
I am. Yes, I had to get licensed, but I don't remember seeing the word surmised in the insurance manual for the state of Florida.
He failed vocabulary. I knew it.
Yep.
I bet.
I'm just really, really quick with flashcards on the insurance exam.
Good for you. All right, so who's the presenter? I'm going to hold this up to the screen, and you can see for yourself.
I was like, how did you get spinning that fast?
Suspense. Oh, wait. How many guesses do you think it's going to take? How many spins of the wheel do you think it's going to take until it gets to the right presenter?
Were you counting spins? I wasn't counting spins.
No. He's talking about, we already know who's presenting. We just have to figure out how many spins it's going to take. So this is really a moot activity right now, but I'm down with it.
Guessing is not a moot activity. People play the lottery, and this is better than that because no one's going to lose. All right, Crystal, how many did you say? Say it out loud. 2.
3.
1.
Phil says 1.
I think it's on there right now.
Alex?
5.
6. All right, here, let's see. Oh my gosh, first try.
It's rigged.
It is rigged.
That's right. Can we get a recount?
We live in Florida, not Georgia. It's not our turn for that. All right, so I wonder if you got it at home, you listener, or the one if you're on the treadmill or what you're doing. So the topic today is buyers ask me, and I'm sure the other professionals who are here, who are all friends. We all know each other and like each other most of the time. The topic today is what expenses are there for a buyer on the way to closing. So everybody knows that they have to put something down, so unless it's like a VA loan, but if you get FHA, it's 3.5% down. If you do conventionals, they could be 3% down, 20% down, whatever. Everybody knows that there's a down payment required, but the very first thing once you get under contract is to do an escrow deposit, which means that it's a down payment. It's like layaway. Somebody says, if I'm going to take the home off the market for you, not only do you need to prove that you can purchase it, which is a Kristen thing, but you need to put skin in the game and show us that you're serious and that we are risking not selling the house to anybody else, but only to you. And that first escrow check goes to Crystal with title. Yep, good job. Jazz hands.
Also, a lot of people don't know it's escrow, and I get a lot of people that come in here and say they're dropping off their scrow check. So It is escrow.
Yeah, you know how there's voice to text. I use that all the time, and it doesn't always understand. And the jackass is not a bad word because it's the name of an animal. So I'm just gonna paraphrase the end of that and use it as not a curse word. And escrow came out as ask girl, and that is a very embarrassing thing to text to your.
That's something
client.
very different.
And I did not proofread that time.
Just actually wondering how that became your autocorrect. What have you been doing, Loyal?
I know,
It
right?
happens.
Yeah.
It happens. I've definitely accidentally done sweet ass on accident to a realtor, and it was supposed to be like sweet close, like it was not. And I had to make that phone call and say so sorry. So it happened.
Was that the last time they worked with you?
And they actually answered the phone while staring at themselves in the mirror, and they were like, "Do I? Oh, okay, yeah, no, we're good."
She's right. Yeah, so that's a fee, a down payment for escrow. Each one of us has costs in our industries that we'll tell you about. So that's the first one. That's the one that the realtor often guides to make and say, you know, look, this is the first thing. And as a realtor, there's home inspections because you want to see that the home is worthy of buying. Those tend to be $300 to $400, depending on the size of the property and how complicated or old it is. Then there's an appraisal fee. Kristen will tell you about that, and various mortgage fees, because every lender, you know, they work for their money, and they can tell you about governmental taxes, as can Crystal. Then there's HOA and estoppel fees, which Crystal will always also say. And then Phil, he holds it down with insurance, which some people do last and some people prepare first. So Kristen, tell us about the mortgage stuff.
All right. Once you are on your journey to purchase a home, your next step would be to come see me. As part of my process, we would go over and prepare a loan estimate to go over the total of costs that you can expect during this process. Your loan estimate is going to show us the number of the total amount you can expect at closing, and it's made up of 3 parts, some of which Loyal's already touched on there. That would be your down payment, if there is one required for your loan type, your closing costs, which will include my fees, title fees, the state fees that are involved, and then some of these other variables like HOA fees that Crystal's going to touch on more. And then the third piece would be prepaid items. That's taxes and then insurance. So those 3 things all together will encompass your amount due at closing. For my fees here, you can expect an underwriting fee and a processing fee. Anything above and beyond that, such as discount points to lower your interest rate, would be negotiated with you if you wish. And then the only cost that has to be paid up front on my side would be the appraisal. Everything else we'll do at closing.
And the appraisal says what is the fair market value of the home, and that person is an independent contractor, so to speak. They are ones that none of us have an influence over. We don't choose who it is. It's randomized through an appraisal clearinghouse, and those charges are standard, aren't they, Crystal?
Yeah, they are set. So for us, 90% of the time, there are no prepaid closing costs. If a file has to cancel out for any reason, any of our fees are wiped clean. We do not charge the buyer at all. The only exception to the rule is we do have some management companies that have come into our area, and they do require prepaid estoppel fees. So that is generally a seller cost, except for if the buyer is the reason that the file has canceled out. That is then going to come out of their deposit. So that is something that could be a hidden buyer fee that wouldn't generally be, but there are 2 exceptions now from management companies that it would be a hidden cost to a buyer. But it's only if they need to switch properties or something happens and they walk away from the property.
And let's clean that up a little bit for anyone who doesn't understand, because all of us are sharpened knives in this toolbox. But we don't expect you to know what you don't know in life. So when we say management companies, we are talking about in reference to condos, townhomes, places that have an association. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, anyone, if you're paying homeowners association fees or condo association fees, you most of the time will have an actual property management company. And if you're going to purchase a home that has those things, then that's one of the things you should look at is, do they have a management company or are they self-governed? Because there are some, just not very many.
Okay, and we are talking specifically to attached dwellings, like we were saying, a flat, a condo, a townhome with an HOA, rather than a neighborhood that has an HOA. That's a different ballgame, isn't it?
It depends, because the 2 management companies that I know that charge up front are actually slowly moving into other HOAs. So you don't have, we had a lot of local property management companies, but now there's some bigger companies that are kind of coming in as a whole, and they're actually doing not only the bigger ones, but they're also going into regular home, just regular homeowners associations for a small subdivision. It just depends, because the HOA picks who's going to manage them.
Right.
So.
Right. They must be cutting deals, those bigger companies. And then besides the red octagonal shaped estoppel sign, which you obey at intersections, dad joke stops anyways. So Crystal, though, thank you. The thumbs down. It's true. Crystal, say what an estoppel is, please.
An estoppel is a letter from the management company or homeowners association stating that your fees are due or not due, or they're current. So it's letting us all know if there's any outstanding balance. It's letting us know when everything is due, how often they are due. That way, one, you will be prorated, but also so the buyer knows exactly what they're getting into and they know that they can afford the home.
Thank you. And now to Philip with 1L, Michael Young. Here we are. Tell us about the insurance part.
You just made it easier for people to Google me, and now I'm scared. Thanks, Loyal.
What are you hiding?
And nothing, Boomerang. All right. So, just kind of reiterate what Kristen said. The closing costs are going to have the insurance policy built into it, and I believe that it's 3 months and part of that closing cost, or is it 3 or 4 months, Kristen? The policy in full, like the policy's paid in full, but for that closing cost, it's 3 months.
Yes. Yep. You pay your first year up front, and then we collect about 3 for the escrows so that we have the payment ready when it comes due again the following year.
Awesome. Okay. And then so on my end, my agency does not charge a fee for our services. You may see on your homeowner's policy an MGA fee. That's if they don't have, they don't work with the normal public. So like your huge conglomerates, like the Progressives, the Geicos, you can just go online and get a policy there, but you're not, it's probably not going to be budget friendly to you to do that. So you have to kind of work through an agent. So we're like the middleman or the filter, if you will. So we have these contracts to work with them. You may see that fee on there, but that's built into your premium, and it's really only $20, $25. The only other thing that I wanted to mention that is if you are doing a cash purchase, we will need that money up front in order to bind a policy. And that's just to save us on the legal end of things.
And if you're making a cash purchase, you're already rolling anyway. So you're like, what's more?
Yeah, I want to see I like when people are doing cash purchases because they'll come in with like a wad of singles and they're like, all right, how much do I owe you?
You know,
all right, go ahead and buy you something nice, pal. Yeah. So, and that's, there are payment plans with that. Like most insurance companies are going to have payment plans now. So we don't charge a fee.
Yeah, that's really good. And, you know, if you are going to go with something, and I'm saying you as in the listener or any of us, if you are going to end up going with Progressive or something like that, if you instead would go through Phil Young, Schneider and Associates, you are employing someone local. So you're
I can't even call that a shameless self-plug. Thanks, Loyal.
You were okay. Here's
if we all shamelessly plug each other, you know, then it doesn't become shameless, right? Like I'll plug Phil, you plug Crystal, so on and so forth, and then it's not shameless. We're doing it. We're helping each other, right?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, we're electric personalities. Why wouldn't we plug each other? Yeah. Dang it, man! You totally made me forget what I was saying, and it was brilliant too.
It was something about if you go through Philip.
Oh yeah. You would bring it back to you. So I trust each person here. I recruited Kristen to come into a referral group that I'm in, which is actually how I met Phil and Alex. And then Crystal, I've worked with before, Alachua Title. So as a realtor, I work with people in all of their professions. And I chose these ones to work with. And it was my idea for the podcast. So I'm willing to tie my reputation to them. and I'm the best rep of the bunch. So, and I say that as the most humble person I know. So I speak the truth to you about that. All right. So one of the things we want to do is have fun in a specific way. So I brought up a topic of what's the funniest thing that you've seen on one of your Zoom meetings. Don't answer it once.
I'll go. I was once in a meeting with a whole ton of people, and there was this wonderful old person there. Technology and Zoom, yay. They somehow switched themselves upside down. Like they rotated their screen and couldn't figure out how to get it back. So it just looked like they were almost pulling a Batman, and they were doing like this whole deal, and it was like, whoa. Like, it was weird.
So Phil just said Batman for those of you that weren't watching, and then contorted his body to hang upside down.
Rachel.
Like Count Dracula.
The darkness is in you, Rachel.
Or the passionate kiss in the Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man, where he's hanging upside down.
No, it's Spider-Man 1. Man,
Spider-Man
don't get
1.
them confused. There's like 3 different Spider-Man storylines right now, and we're gonna get people mad if you say the Amazing Spider-Man.
And
Or if we say the new one's the best.
The Tom
That's
Holland.
debatable. It's debatable.
Is it?
With Tom Holland, you get the rest of the Avengers, which makes it fun. But I personally believe that what's his name, Andrew Garfield, the second guy, I think those ones were the best. The Amazing Spider-Man movies.
I prefer Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark, the wonderful Broadway musical flop that cost $2.2 billion and hurt 7 Spider-Men in the process. Hurt them. I think one of them died.
Oh, no. Well, at least he died for a good cause.
He was turning off the dark.
He was less than Amazing Spider-Man. He was not that. I mean, God rest his soul. He was perhaps not the best Spider-Man, not the amazing one.
Pretty okay Spider-Man.
Yeah. Good enough to get the job, Spider-Man.
I got another kind of fun because we'll keep it PG. But so I do these Zoom trivias, right? I'll shamelessly plug myself. I mean, because no one's gonna shamelessly plug a GMV Entertainment.
I'm sorry, Alex.
No, you're good.
You're really good. Go ahead.
I'll do it myself. So GMV Entertainment, we do these Zoom trivias, right? We do Zoom trivia offer. And we did one of them. You know, some people are not as savvy with Zoom as others might be, and it was this elderly couple. And so, you know, we'll do the trivia, and it's like an hour and a half ish, or things that we go through. And then at the end, typically, I'll keep the room open, and we can debrief with the client or whoever it is, and just kind of talk, and people hang around and leave. But so we did this one particular. It was with RD and Rebuilding Together. Probably
no, I definitely remember that.
Do you remember? Yeah. So there was this old couple that was like, the trivia had ended, and I was like, okay, hey, everyone have a great holidays. We'll see you later. And 95 of the 100 people signed off because they understood that was their cue. But this old couple, like, I didn't think they understood that the trivia was over, because I'm talking, to me, RD, and April are just like having a normal Zoom call, and we're chatting, and this guy's just like literally this close. I'm gonna get close to the camera so you can see, but just this close to the camera for the whole like 30 minutes we were talking.
What he wasn't telling you, Alex, was that he was under mistletoe and he was waiting for a Zoom kiss.
Like for like 30 minutes while we're talking, just staring, and then after like 15-20 minutes go by, he goes, "Is this the trivia?"
Oh.
I'm like, no.
In which you said, no, it was, but it's over now. Goodbye.
You didn't see the 20 questions that we just did for 2 hours? So that was pretty funny. That was a good one for sure.
I had a Zoom conference, which is supposed to be very professional. And because everybody's working from home, a lot of them anyways, you randomly will get kids or animals that will show up. And this poor woman who is dressed only turns out to the top part of her professionally. Everything else is like these little skimpy shorts. And her maybe 3-year-old runs into the room butt naked. And she's like, "Oh my gosh, she goes, I got to stop Zoom. Well, she forgot to stop Zoom. She forgot to mute it. So she's sitting there trying to take care of this poor child. And then she's like, what are you covered in? And he's like covered in chocolate or dirt or something. And the poor thing for like 30 minutes, nobody could do anything because all you could hear was this lady. I felt bad for her. And then of course she stood up and like you realize she just has a blazer on over whatever she had on. So that was bad.
You know, I think once the summer hits, there's going to be a lot of purchases of shorts here in the future, and sweat shorts.
One of my customers came in yesterday and he had on cut-off jeans and sweatpants underneath them.
That's solid.
That's actually worse than socks and sandals.
I've never seen it before, but it actually hurt my eyes. That was interesting.
A European, no doubt.
City Walmart.
Ballet dancer.
Say that, Kristen, what'd you say?
You never been to the Lake City Walmart then? That's dress code over there.
Nice.
The first time I ever went to that Walmart, there was a person walking in with a skunk because there's like some rescue group and she takes her skunk everywhere. And I was like, I don't know where we're at anymore.
Nice. I was thinking about this other day. You know how animals come in fashion, like on paraphernalia with kids, stuffed animals, and lately it's foxes. And I know because I have a child named Fox, but before that it was sloths. You remember this?
Yes.
Cutest and on everything. So I was starting to think, what's the next animal? And I actually did think about skunks. Like, they're kind of cute. If you don't think about them being stinky, they're like long ferrets that are black and white, zebras you can hold.
I mean, I also hate ferrets. So I don't know if that's
I don't like any of the rodent faces.
Yeah.
So my sister used to have ferrets, and I would hold them up, like right underneath their little arms, and then you can actually swing them, and they can do like a little sexy ferret dance. It's just like.
Only you would describe a ferret with the word sexy.
Yeah, well, and then it's like, and now, chastity.
Chastity. What a poor name. Oh. All right, Kristen, do you have a funny Zoom?
No, I don't.
Well, I do, and it involves Phil's girlfriend. So we were on a group Zoom, and there was a guest in the meeting, and the guest pops in, and he's seeing who else is in the meeting, and he says this guy's name. I don't remember his name right now. Let's just say Charles. And he goes, "Oh, Charles Johnson. Oh yeah, I'm quite familiar with your wife." And like, we were on mute, but like it was clear that Cody, just nodded herself with laughter, and I was dying too. And I couldn't believe we were on mute, but I had it on the Brady Bunch view, so I could see who else was dying, and she was dying that guy was familiar, very, with his wife. So
I don't remember that.
Yeah. Can I say who it was? His first name rhymes with Sham, and his last name rhymes with Schlemming. And he has a big beard. Just saying. All right, so that was some funny stuff on Zoom.
That's funny.
Next time we'll have a segment about the funny business experiences we have. And I say segment because we have enough of them, I'm sure, to share one each week. So anyways, this was the first Keepin It Real Estate podcast. And thank you very much to Alex Quintero, who does not just a lot of trivia, but now podcasts and live entertainment stuff in the area. And as you can tell, he's professional. So great job, Alex. Thank you for doing this. Are you ready to drop our hot jam on the way out?
Loyal, when's the next one going to be? When are we going to upload these, or what's the upload schedule? Let's get that in the stream.
Yeah, you wanted me to say that out loud and make an announcement?
To be determined on Wednesdays, potentially. Wednesdays is going to be our good day, so.
Okay. TBD. One of those great acronyms. All right, drop our hot jam, Alex, and we'll see you and listen to you next time, everybody.
Hey.
Just a reminder to keep it real. Estate.
We keep throwing up the guns.
Somebody rap.